Well, let's call him Andrew, because that was his name and I had nothing to lose. So Andrew and I, we knew each other in middle school. Now, we didn't really hang out because he was one of the popular kids and I was, but eventually we get to high school, we go to a bigger school, the popular kids have more options, and he comes crawling to me, and that's how I like it. So we have a pretty good relationship, he introduces me to weed, that was cool of him. We played video games for a while, and eventually high school gets over, and we move on. He goes to college, I obviously did not, and it was a kind of rough time, and if I can be real for a moment, he really helped me out, because pretty much every day, I'd play video games with him after he got out of class, and we were pretty tight. But at this point, you're probably thinking he was like a cool dude, and this is just going to be like a sad story. He had his weird moments. Two particular ones stick out when we took a vacation. A couple years ago, me, him, and a buddy of ours, we went down to Austin, Texas. And there was two weird things that Andrew did. Now, one of them, he did every single day of this trip. Every day, he would take a 20 to 25-minute shit. Now, I can't really shame a guy for his bowel movements, but eventually you get concerned, and I was asking him, like, hey man, are you okay? Because it was a production. I mean, he'd put on music, water would be running, he'd grunt occasionally, I was worried for him. And so I asked him, hey man, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, it must have been the brisket. And I'm like, dude, we had brisket on Monday. It's Thursday. I was about to call up Guinness Book of World Records and, submit him for the world's slowest digestive tract. So the second thing, this was a specific incident, the second one. We had one of those conversations one day that you have with someone you've been friends with for a long time, where you kind of talk about everything. We talk about our family history, political ideals, where we think we're going in our future. And in the middle of this really deep conversation, he kind of takes a pause, takes a bite out of his burger, and looks off and he goes, if me and my girlfriend ever break up, I think I'm going to date a black girl next. Now, I'm not going to say anything because I need to be trapped in a hotel room and then a car with this dude for the rest of the week. But A, you've been dating your current girlfriend for 3 years, and I'm pretty sure they're still dating, so that was kind of weird. And also, specifically picking out the race of your future girlfriend seems less like acceptance and more like fetishization. So these were all kind of weird incidents, and eventually I forget about them and move on because, I have very little friends to choose from. And a year passes, and Andrew leaves college, and he talks to me, he's like, I don't think I'm going back next year. And I'm like, well, that's cool, because I just got a job, and, if you wanted to work for the same company I do, that'd be great. And, he accepts my offer, he comes work at the same place. And then, because, we're hanging out a lot, we decided, hey, let's record a podcast, because we're two mediocre white men, why not, right? Woo-hoo! Thanks for the woo-woo to mediocre white men everywhere, I'm sure they deserve it. But I guess I had gotten too much for him, between working with me and playing video games and podcasting, I'm a pretty forceful personality, I can get it. But the way Andrew chose to deal with it is, at first he just got harder and harder to contact about, scheduling the podcast, and then harder and harder to contact about everything, until eventually, like so many ex-girlfriends before me, I found that Andrew had ghosted me. Piece of shit. I'm not bitter or anything. But it's all fine. I mean, we move on, we make new friends, and almost a year later, I made a new friend. Now, I'm going to reveal some things about this friend, so she shall go nameless. But we had met because of Tinder, and we decided we were better suited as friends once it was kind of revealed that she had a sexual history with almost anyone I'd gone to middle and high school with. Like, the list was extensive, up to and including a guy who turned out to be a neo-Nazi. Like, there was no limit to who she'd fuck. And so I'm kind of going through the list of people I know, and I bring up Andrew. And she gets kind of a weird look in her eye, but I'm in the middle of the story and don't pay it too much mind. And I go on and tell him about her, or tell her about him, and tell kind of our entire relationship, and I bring up the trip that we took to Austin, and she kind of looks at me and she goes, "Oh, I know about the trip." I'm thinking, well, how do you know about the trip? And so I ask her, hey, how do you know about the trip? I really needed all of those in that sentence, didn't I? So I ask her, why did you know all this? And she goes, well, pretty much every day that you were on your trip, Andrew would sneak off in the bathroom and have Skype sex with me. Interesting. And suddenly the pieces started fitting together. I don't even know if I should tell you this, but this friend I'm talking about is black. And so eventually I gather myself and I tell her, look, man, you helped me figure out a mystery. It explains a lot. It explains why he had this random interlude about wanting to date a black girl, and explains why he's disappearing off in the bathroom for like 20, 25 minutes. Well, then she starts laughing, and laughing, and laughing, and it's like a fucking uproar from this one person. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And eventually she wipes the tear from her eye, she looks me dead in the eye, and she goes, well, I don't know why he was disappearing for 20 minutes, and the calls only lasted 1. So yeah, and that's it. I mean, you know, he's bad at fucking, and I just felt like burning that bridge. Good night.